We will now study about the civil disobedience movement in India. The civil disobedience movement differed from the non-cooperation movement. The non-cooperation movement tried to stop the working of the British government by not cooperating with the administration. But the civil disobedience movement was a little different. It tried to paralyze. To paralyze means to stop the British administration by performing a number of illegal activities. In the Lahore session, full powers were given to Mahatma Gandhi to start a mass movement. Mahatma Gandhi gave this movement the form of a civil disobedience movement. Before launching this movement, that is the civil disobedience movement, to the British government, the first demand put forth by Gandhiji was the abolition of the salt tax. The abolition means to put an end to the salt tax. The British had imposed a tax on salt. Gandhiji did not want that people who are involved in the extraction of salt should pay a salt tax. He also demanded that liquor should be prohibited. Prohibited means it should not be used. He also asked the British to end the monopoly of the British government to manufacture salt. But the British government rejected all the demands made by Gandhiji. Therefore, Gandhiji decided to start a countrywide satyagraha by breaking the Salt Act. To break the Salt Act, Gandhiji had the Dandi March. This Dandi March was held in the year 1930. Since the British had imposed a salt tax, Gandhiji on 12th March 1930, along with his followers, began his 385 kilometers march from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi on the seashore in Gujarat. On the way to Dandi, Gandhiji addressed the people in different villages. He called upon the people to join the civil disobedience movement fearlessly. On 5th April 1930, Gandhiji picked up a fistful of salt and broke the Salt Act. A fistful means a handful of salt. The whole country was shocked by this act of Gandhiji, and this salt satyagraha was launched on many sea beaches in Maharashtra, Orissa, Gujarat and Madras. Slowly the Indians began violating many of the laws laid down by the British. In the interior part of the country, the people violated the forest laws. A number of women took part in this satyagraha movement. Sarojini Naidu, Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay, Kamla Nehru and Sucheta Kriplani were some of the women. While all this was happening, the reaction of the British government was in the form of arrest on a large scale. They forcibly confiscated salt that was collected by the people. The British banned the meetings and processions. They even lathi-charged the people and fired at them. When this happened, many people were injured and a number of them also died. On the 9th of 4th May 1930, Gandhiji was arrested. At this time, there was a lot of confusion in the country. Hindus and Muslims together joined the movement. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, who was the organizer of Khudai Khidmat Kar in northwest India, also joined the movement. Most of the Indians, young and old, women, children, everyone joined this movement. To avoid violence, Mahatma Gandhi entered into a pact with Viceroy Lord Irwin. Soon Gandhiji was invited for the Round Table Conference in London to discuss the constitutional reforms for India. Gandhiji only attended the second Round Table Conference but returned back very disappointed.